It's the New Normal Podcast with Adam Brandt. Hey there. Thanks for tuning in to It's the New Normal. I'm Adam Brandt, aka the Chubby Snowbird. March is here. Mardi Gras is coming. Spring training baseball is in full swing. And of course, the annual migration of college folks to the sunny beaches is just getting started. That's right, spring break is upon us. Being a part-time Floridian now for 5 seasons, I'd like to share some pointers for my Gen X friends that hope to get in some R&R in Florida this spring. Let's get into it. Full-time Floridians, especially those born and raised here, hate at least 2 things. 1, snowbird season, and 2, you guessed it, spring break season. I get it. Strangers from across the globe invade the state of Florida for months at a time. The locals blame nearly every negative situation on the out-of-towners.
Damn traffic, the damn drugs, the damn drivers, the damn parking, the damn noise, the damn beaches. I guess it's the new normal. Everybody comes to Florida.
Many Floridians just can't stand people showing up in their state to have fun. You know, in Florida, they don't take a state income tax from the workers here. Nearly every state project is paid for through tourism. Still, there's an extreme hatred from far too many people that live here full time. Ironically enough, many of them are transplants themselves. I mean, I feel like I pay more than my fair share. I enjoy the state for 4.5 months every year. But I pay 12 months worth of bills, along with public utilities, property taxes. You know, I feel like I'm doing my part. I have to be a step above the revelers who show up for a short time, rent an Airbnb, and destroy the natural resources, right? Hard to say. I will admit, getting to the beach, finding a place to park, and having a relaxing spot on the sand all to yourself gets very difficult during peak snowbird season. Especially right now, as many beaches along with parking are still closed due to the devastating hurricanes of 2024. At least over here on the Gulf of America side, that is. But don't let that deter you from coming down. Come down. Support the economy down here. Today, I'm going to focus on the beaches. It can be somewhat daunting to find the best spot for you and what kind of beach vacation you're looking for. I'm going to share my favorite tips and pointers that will help you find the right beach this spring. Okay, so Florida is crazy. You're either inland at Disney or on a farm, or you're at the beach. Don't let the sand fool you, though, as there are 4 distinct beaches that make up the peninsula of Florida. 4, you say? Yep. No matter which side, east or west, or whether you stay north in the Panhandle or south in Miami, there are 4 distinct beaches that can make or break your vacation. Keep in mind, I'm 45 and at the tail end of Gen X. We're part of the generation right now where you could be a grandparent, a parent, or like me, some days I feel stuck in my late teens or early 20s, while others, I feel like an old man. Knowing how you feel on any given day goes a long ways in choosing the correct beach. Let's start with beach number 1. I call this beach Nap Time Beach. Here in Florida, especially the southwest part of the state, a bulk of the beachgoers on any given day are looking for a quiet, peaceful, restful day, enjoying the fresh air, sun, and sand. Think of Grandma and Grandpa, and then add 20 years. Naptime Beach is a sleepy, stress-free beach. There's no loud music. There's no crying babies. There's no drunken assholes. As you look around the beach, you gain an expert level understanding on the effects of gravity on the human body. Most of the folks wear their bronze-like tan as a badge of honor. their commitment to soaking up as many rays as possible. Being 45, I find myself to be one of the younger folks around Naptime Beach. You know, there's just days. Those days, you don't want to be bothered. You might have had a couple more cocktails than normal the night before, and you just want a day of restful relaxation with the centenarians and soon-to-bes. If this sounds like the beach vibe for you, you just find yourself the oldest, darkest tanned person and ask them what beach they prefer to go to. They won't call it Naptime Beach, but they will surely point you in the right direction. Look, there's nothing wrong with Naptime Beach. Hanging with the old folks all day. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is maybe having to help an elderly lady out of the water as she battles the waves to use the restroom. It's way better than babysitting children at the next beach on the list. Beach number 2, Family Beach. You'll find Family Beach mostly on the weekends or during peak travel seasons, such as spring break and summer vacation. You'll know Family Beach as soon as you see it. Mom and the kids show up with a plastic bag of snacks, a shoulder bag with towels, and another bag with 9 different sunscreen products. Just as you wonder where Dad is, you hear him breathing heavily as he struggles his way through the sand. He's got chairs draped, wagon full of buckets, pails, shovels, snorkels, flippers, umbrellas, tents. He looks defeated, and he's just arrived. He spends 20 minutes preparing the site, then marches his happy ass back to the parking lot to retrieve the almighty cooler. He thought ahead. He bought the cooler with wheels. He loads that fucker up with a 24-pack of Busch cans, a 12er of White Claws for Mom, and a dozen or so juice boxes for the little ones. It's iced down with 70 pounds of ice to ensure everything stays cold. Nothing like sipping a piss-warm beer on the beach after 6 hours in the scorching hot sun. You'd probably be better off just gulping a mouthful of salty-ass seawater at that point. Anyhow, Dad's 300-pound cooler was the best idea ever. On paper, there he is, dragging that huge brick with 2 little plastic wheels. They seem to be doing more harm than good. Sinking, dragging into the sand. Dad looks like a farm mule. Hey, only 3 more football fields to go. I mean, I feel for the guy. I'd hate to spend my vacation working that hard. He finally reaches his destination. He's sweating like a whore in church on a Saturday night. He opens the cooler for his well-deserved reward. Honey, I think my sunglasses are back in the car. All I can do is laugh and raise a drink in his direction. Mom has the kids all set for the day. Hats, sunscreen, toys strewn about. She's ready to relax herself. As Dad retrieves her shades, she treats herself to her first White Claw. Dad returns. Wouldn't you know it, it's lunchtime already. I figure it's got to be hell getting all the family up and ready and packed and fed and out the door for a beach day. I guess that's why Family Beach doesn't start filling up until most of us are ready for our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and apple slices. Mom and Dad must feel the time crunch, as that first hour is like last call at the bar. Dad is 6 bushes deep. Meanwhile, Mom stands waist high in the sea, holding her 4th White Claw. Little Aiden, Braden, and Caden are keeping themselves busy at the moment, doing what most kids at Family Beach do. Digging a fucking hole. All the fancy toys, all the beach gadgets, and these kids just dig away until one of them gets upset. An hour or 2 after lunch is when Family Beach gets interesting. First off, Dad is missing. I swear to God. I haven't seen Dad in a half hour. Mom is splitting her time between the bathroom breaks in the water and quiet time in her chair. She has ordered little Aiden, Braden, and Caden to leave her the fuck alone so she can rest. Guess who's in charge of watching the 3 now? That's right. The chubby fucking snowbird. Hey, I didn't sign up for the job, but somehow it sort of lands right in your lap. Like the sand thrown your way from the kids as they dig ever closer to your space. I don't know if they can swim. Not sure if they even understand the dangers of the waves crashing in, then rushing away. I guess that's what makes it a family beach. None of us are related, but it's sort of our duty to keep an eye on the youngsters and make sure they don't wash away out to sea. Hopefully, you're getting a sense of why Naptime Beach is so appealing to many folks. The quiet, no dirt throwing or screaming children, no babysitting. You know, a lazy, relaxing day at the beach sometimes is everything. Beach number 3 is the complete opposite of lazy, quiet beach day. Beach 3 is where you'll find 99% of young adult spring breakers. That's right, Party Beach. Us Gen Xers are all too familiar with Party Beach. We're the MTV generation, when M stood for music. You remember those spring break parties in the 90s? MTV was all over. Up and down the coast of Florida to Texas, the Carolinas to Cancun. Party Beach is for those days you wake up feeling young. Don't worry though, that feeling will escape you quicker than a dad leaving his family to gawk at the college girls half his age. Yep, that's where Dad disappeared to. He's been sucking in that gut for 2 hours. His back is beet red, and he's finished off his pocket bushes. His thirst for beer has been replaced with a new thirst. No. A thirst to be young again. It had to be 5 years ago now. Mrs. Snowbird and I were hanging out on St. Pete Beach. We must have been feeling young that afternoon. As we walked along, we could hear the bass notes dropping. We followed the sound. As we moved in closer, the thumping grew louder and louder. We turned the corner of a famous beachside motel, and boom! I was transported back to 1996. The music, the bikinis. I'm not even sure these new contraptions count as bikinis. I mean, when did this happen where wearing as little as you can counts as a bathing suit? Have you seen some of these G-strings and thongs nowadays? They leave nothing to the imagination. It's fucking crazy. The muscled up young men, the grinding, the beers, the smell. For a split second, I was young again. I then looked to my wife for guidance. She was in the same state of disarray as myself. Surely we didn't fit in on the dance floor. For one, we were way overdressed. So I spotted an empty table off in the distance. Great. We could gather ourselves and plan our next move. I figured I'd grab a couple beers to help us guide our decision. So I squeezed my way through the alcohol, sweat, and sex-drenched bodies of the dance area to a very busy bar. Just 5 minutes ago, I was feeling young as I chased down the sounds of my youth. Then as I stand there, a young lady approaches to my side. I couldn't help to notice her. She was wearing some new to me, or maybe even new to the world type bathing suit. You know that thin ribbon you might tie off balloons with? Comes in a lot of different colors. It's about 1/4 inch, and it's just a little spool of ribbon. Well, from what I could gather, this young lady was wearing a single ribbon that somehow managed to split her downstairs backside and wrap up around her neck, and then cross down each nipple. This is one-piece ribbon, and anything and everything else was just wide open for the world to see. I didn't know where to look. Human nature says, get in there, take a closer look, inspect every square inch, as this could be the last time you ever get a chance to see something like this in real life. And it's standing right beside you. Then something strange happened for the first time in my life. I felt something. It was odd. I gotta tell you, I felt old. I stared at the bartender. I stared at the ceiling as he retrieved my beers. I stared at the ground all the way back to my wife. What an odd feeling. I'd always seen myself in the mirror as the 21-year-old guy who can keep up with anyone when it comes to partying. That day, my own perception was broken. I was the dirty old man at the corner table. I was shaken, embarrassed, sad, depressed. In under 10 minutes, my life had changed forever. The years had piled up while I wasn't even looking. I was no longer the guy who could chug a couple beers and join their party. I was out of place, and all I could do was watch from the sidelines, like an injured quarterback, not knowing if he should root for his replacement or be jealous. Getting old fucking sucks. Enough about my problems. Let's get back to Party Beach. Party Beach normally isn't as crazy as the bar that broke my will those years ago. You will find college-aged, tanned, chiseled physiques. You should expect to see more ass, cheek, side boob, under boob, and cleavage than you'd find anywhere else. Loud music? You better believe it. As for the drinking and hardcore partying, I mean keg stands and shotgunning beers. This sort of depends on the county and city you're visiting. You see, some don't allow alcohol, while others, fucking party on, man! There are some gray areas, especially during spring break. If you're of age and not being too crazy, you're probably all right, even at a beach where it's typically discouraged. You know what's crazy, though, is Gen X must have been the last great drinking generation. I mean, the true alcoholics. It's great. Don't get me wrong. These youngsters are carrying on without feeling that need to get drunk to have fun. I'm sort of jealous more of that. I do have to warn you, though, even though Party Beach is open to all ages, be prepared to ask questions like, hey, do you think he's got a shot with her? Or is she gonna puke, or is he gonna puke? Another drawback to Party Beach is being underprepared. You see, a typical day, I might have 2 or 3 Twisted Tea Lights. But when you visit Party Beach, the drinks go faster, the music plays louder, and the days last longer. 2 or 3 teas is not going to cut it. Bring plenty to drink. Bring plenty of water. You have to keep yourself hydrated out in the hot, sunny sand. Also, prepare to feel old. All right, we've covered the 3 beaches of Florida. Nap time, family, and Party Beach. But I thought you said 4 beaches. Oh, I did. The 4th beach is a little tricky. The 4th beach can actually be any of the first 3 beaches, or a beach all by itself. Beach number 4 is the Dog Beach. Ha ha ha, you thought I was going to say nude beach, didn't you? Nude beaches aren't really a thing. I mean, you got Hallover, which is topless, but this is America, not Europe. The Dog Beach is far more likely to be part of your trip to Florida. You see, in certain parts of Florida, there are dedicated dog beaches. Folks bring their furry friends and family for an off-leash day of sniffing buttholes and marking territories. You must always watch your step. And always be on the lookout for loose pets that probably shouldn't be untethered. If you're bringing Sandy, your beloved golden doodle, look into these areas in Florida with dedicated dog beaches. Too late, you say? You've already booked your dream vacation, and you're not sure if there's a dog beach? Like I stated earlier, all beaches end up being dog beaches, whether it's allowed or not. You'll see furry friends at nap time, family, and even party beaches. Sometimes it's legal, sometimes it isn't. If it's not a dedicated dog beach, just make sure your pet is leashed at all times, well behaved, and cleaned up after. These 3 little things go a long ways in blending in on a beach where dogs might typically not be welcomed. And please, bring more water for your dog than for you. The sun and sand are hot. I think that pretty much wraps it up. We've covered Nap Time Beach, the old folks, sleepy, quiet, Then family beach, community babysitting, screaming children, hole digging, party beach, beautiful people, and a reality check for us Gen Xers, and of course the dog beach. I just want to say, Florida is open, and it's waiting for you. I hope that I've given you a better idea of what to look for when planning your next beach vacation. There is truly a beach for every vibe. And no, don't let that grumpy local asshole stress you out. Tourism may impact Floridians' lives, but the positives really outweigh the negatives. And shit, man, there's plenty of sunshine for everyone. So book that vacation today. And thanks again for listening. Remember to hit that subscribe button and reach out and say hello on the socials. Chubby Snowbird on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, and X. Till next week. Peace out.